Hi, I'm Jonathan Gilbert. I'm here to talk about a program that ESI has called Managing Projects. In today's business world, organizations are faced with some very critical business issues. One is the lack of resources to do projects, and those resources include both money and people. And then the other major business issue is the uncertainty with which work transpires within organizations. When we teach managing projects, we are addressing all of those business issues in a very straightforward and basic way. The beauty of managing projects as a course is that it allows the students to engage in the practicalities of the business world from a project perspective. So as we work our way through the Managing Projects course, it's organized into 4 very distinct project phases: an initiation phase, a planning phase, an implementation phase, and a closing phase. We also introduce the concept of the triple constraints in the course, and the triple constraints are, very basically, time, cost, and scope. And these 3 constraints become the backdrop for the planning that is done both in the initiating phase of the project within the course and then also within the detailed planning phase of the course. Within the initiating phase, as we are addressing the issues of unpredictability of business and also the issues of fewer resources than what we need to do the work and also limited time, we are beginning to identify critical resources that we can use not only for the project development itself but also for the planning. We also are trying to identify at a high level a project cost so that eventually when we get to the detailed planning phase we can develop a detailed cost baseline. And additionally, we are trying to determine how much work we can get with the amount of money that we've been constrained with and a schedule that we've also been constrained with. So once we get into detailed planning, we develop the detailed baselines for each one of those triple constraints: a scope baseline, a cost baseline, and a schedule baseline. And in developing these 3 baselines, we are already beginning to reduce the amount of uncertainty that the project has and that the project holds for the organization, and thereby increase the predictability of business results. Once we've developed our baselines and they become part of the project management plan, we then roll into project implementation, where we essentially are implementing the plans that we've developed in the initiating phase and in the planning phase. The implementation of these plans then is the process by which we talk about within the course, where the project manager is measuring planned versus actual to determine what kinds of differences or variances exist between what we've planned and what has actually occurred, so that important actions can be taken in order to close the gap between planned versus actual as we progress through the project, thereby eliminating even more some of the unpredictability that is inherent in day-to-day work. Once we have completed implementing the plan, we are ready to close the project out. And in this particular phase of the program, we identify critical actions that have happened during the life of the project that we can learn from. It could be either something that we did well that we want to replicate on a future project, or something that didn't go as well as planned that we want to make sure doesn't happen on a subsequent project. Once we've developed these lessons learned, we document them, capture them, and disseminate them to everybody in the organization so that we can thereby reduce on future projects the unpredictability and uncertainty that typically happens on projects within organizations. So in summary, with the Managing Projects course, we are attempting to reduce the uncertainty that projects represent within today's business world, and we are also attempting to reduce the impact of fewer resources within the organization by better planning, and also reduce the impact of less money to do the projects by making sure that we're focusing on the right scope.